And she's charging. Today we're going to be checking out this, the Eufy S11 Robot Vacuum Cleaner. So this is a rather large package, so I'm going to try my best to keep everything in the frame here. But it's a pretty simple box on the outside. Let's go ahead and open it up and see what they have to offer on the inside here. And there we go. So first thing we see here is our owner's manual for it. And then of course we have the vacuum. This guy does advertise being a thinner vacuum at only 2.85 inches high. It's pretty slim, so it can get under a lot of things in your home. Let's see what else we got here in the package. We have a hair cutter, a dust brush, a comb to get between the teeth to get any hairs and tangles out between the teeth. You can use that to do one of these. That's a useful tool right there. Next I see is our little side brush. So this guy will clip on right here. Looks like it's just a square, so you should just be able to click it right in. Perfect. And we have our power cable that goes to our docking station. And you can see here we have our charging station right here. And then back here we have a little remote, oops, as well as two little alkaline AAA batteries. And this is everything that comes inside the packaging. We have our brush cleaner, the charging cable for our dock here, the remote that's stored here on the top of the dock, batteries for our remote, a user manual, and the vacuum itself, including our side brush there. Taking a closer look here, we do have a bin here on the back. This is our dust bin, and to remove it, all you do is pinch and then pull straight back. And then once it's out to dump this bin, you'll pull up on the top, and now you can dump out your dust bin. You can see here our triple filter system. So we have our preliminary high speed filter, and then below that one we have a foam filter, and then followed by a HEPA style filter. All just clicks together nicely and then slides right back into our robo-vac. Then while I was doing the setup on this guy, you can see here on the back of our docking station, there's a big old gap so we can tuck any excess cord we have in, just like that. And then there's a hook on the back, just so we can keep all of these cables tucked in nice and neat. Before you can use your robot vacuum here, you'll have to flip this red switch on the bottom to turn it on. Now I can use my remote to tell it to go home to charge. Let's see how smart it is here. Oh, she doesn't have a lot of room. There we go. And she's charging. Alright, I am going to go ahead and test this out myself for a little bit, and then at the next section is going to be a tutorial going through the manual, the operation using the remote, as well as the device. This is not a Wi-Fi capable device, so if you're looking for something that's super simple, you don't need a smartphone, you don't need another app, this is the way to go with this guy right here, where it's got a remote that can do all of your programming, and the device will just do everything else from there. Alright, so I have a vacuum, the Tycom G8000, downstairs in my living room area, just covering the whole main floor. And so I ran this guy after that vacuum had done its whole cleaning. Mind you, it's shedding season for my dogs. I have 2 of them and a wife. So let's see how much hair and other stuff we picked up here. So for starters, I'm seeing a lot already in this brush built up. But let's go ahead and pull our dust bin out here. And then if we pop it open, oh, that is a lot just crammed in there. Got some tons of dander and dust. I would have never believed that there was this much hair coming off of my dogs every single day if I didn't see this right here. That is crazy. And then also, while we're here, let's go ahead and take a look at this brush and show how to use the brush cleaning tool. So you can just lift your brush out like this. It goes in, and then it pulls up and then out. And here, we can just run the teeth of this through there to get all those chunks out. That is fantastic. Look at that. Holy cow. I still can't believe how much we got. You can see there's like little chunks of dirt and dust here as well from that. Let's see. You can see lots of flecks of dirt and sand and dust, all from one cleaning with this guy. So I'm going to go ahead and give us a tutorial here of how to use our remote as well as using the Eufy robo-vac. So I know on the camera it does look like that is flickering. It's not flickering to me. That's just the camera frame rate messing with it. This is our charging stand here. We got a good spot to leave this little rack here, as well as you can leave your remote right there. As for this device, I think I mentioned it before, but if not, this is only controlled using the remote. There is no app control with this, which I'm kind of surprised with Eufy, but yeah, this is the only option. So let's go ahead and go through our options. First thing you'll notice is on the back here, you can see there is some quick instructions as to the buttons here. We're just gonna start from the top and work our way down. If we hit auto, that means it'll just automatically turn on and do a quick run cleaning the house. Next to auto on the opposite side is our fan blade button. This will change between our speed or our suction modes. In the center here, you can see it at max, standard, and Boost IQ. Boost IQ is a blend of your max and your standard mode. It'll go to standard mode when on hardwood floors, things like that, but when it notices it's up on top of carpet, it'll go up to the boost mode to increase suction to be able to get deep down into the fibers. Next, we have the arrows all around this. So this is to tell it where to go, things like that. We can go forward and backwards, things like that. And then right here in the center, we have our start stop. This function will work the same as your auto button here in the corner, but if you hit start, it'll start doing an automatic cleaning. Stop button will stop cleaning, whereas your auto button just turns it on, and it will then run until the battery dies. They advertise up to 100 minutes of battery life with this guy. Moving on down, we have our spot clean. That's our little swirly button here. So if you push that, it'll then do a 2-minute cleaning of a circular area, just doing kind of a spiral, as you can see it starting to do here. So that's our spot clean mode, this little spiral there. Next is our middle button here. That is our edge cleaning button. That'll go along the edge of your home and will drive around for about 20 minutes or until it makes its way back to your home base, just cleaning the corners and edges of a room. So if you're starting to get things like dander balls from your pets and whatnot building up in corners, this would be a good way to go clean those up real quick. Next is a house with a little zigzag line in it. That is your single room cleaning. This is if it's in a small room. In the manual, it's called quick cleaning, where it'll just do 30 minutes in a single area and clean that up real quick and then go back to charging. And then here in the bottom right-hand corner, just moving around here, we have a house with what looks like a charging cable. That is our charge button. So if you press that, this will then turn around and head back to our charging dock. All right, last things to show you are these two buttons here. This is our clock and our timer. We're gonna go ahead and start by tapping our clock button here to set the time of day. So we can hit up and down here to tell it what time it is. And then if you keep an eye on over here on the right, that's our AM and PM. So you may have to cycle all the way around to get AM or PM. And then when you're done, you just hit the clock up again. It'll beep to acknowledge that it's saved it. And then last thing we're going to show you here is our scheduling button. So this will schedule it to run every single day at this same time. So what you'll do is you'll tap the schedule, and now it'll illuminate down here what time it's going to start. So you can go up and down, telling it the hour, hit the arrow over to switch over. And this does 15-minute increments. So say I want it to go off every day at 10:30, and you can see over here on the far right that says AM rather than PM. And when you're done, you can hit the little calendar there. Now it's been saved, and now every day at 10:30 AM, this will begin to vacuum. And that is pretty much everything you need to know about using this remote and running this robo-vac. And while I could dig into this manual and go over everything, I just want to show you right here the frequency of maintenance and cleaning. We have our dust collector that we need to empty after every use, so that's pretty much every day. Filters, you got to clean them once a week and replace every 2 months. You got your rolling brush, that's every week as well. We got to clean it, and that one's replaced every 6 to 12 months. Following that, we got our side brush. That's every month we got to clean it. And then every 3 to 6 months we may have to replace it when it's visibly worn. Below that we have our brush guard. That's the part that goes over your main brush. You got to clean it every week, replace it every 3 to 6 months. And then lastly is our sensors. We've got to clean that monthly, clean our charging pins and our swivel wheel out every single month. Hey guys, quick interjection here. I am like so close. Maybe by the time you're watching this, I will have hit 5,000 subscribers. And to say thank you, I am going to be hosting a giveaway. Link will be down in the description of this video, a gleam.io link where you can sign up to win some of the prizes. There will be at least 5 things that I'll be giving away at my 5,000 subscriber giveaway. It does end at the end of July, so make sure you get those entries in, and there will be daily entries. Thank you so much for following and subscribing. Back to the video. Alright, so I've had a chance to test this guy out for a little while, running it every day or every other day when we remember to, and now that it's on a schedule, it just runs on its own and I don't have to worry about it. However, let's go ahead and go over like the pros and cons of it. Unfortunately, this isn't like an organized list. It's just how I jotted them down as I ran into them. And I think that's probably the best way to do it is like, hey, as I ran into this issue or pro or whatever, I realized like, hey, that's kind of probably how everyone else will run into it. So the first thing I noticed is that this guy didn't come with any spare parts. Most of the other robot vacuums I have reviewed come with like a couple of spare parts with it, whether it's like a new brush roller, a side brush, some filters, like it comes with something. This one came with no spare parts. And the next thing that I noticed is that it doesn't have any like app or Wi-Fi capabilities, so you only control it with the remote. Again, every other robot vacuum I've ever used, one of them has a remote, but you can also use the app, and I find it a lot easier to use the app. You get more features when you use an app, and it's so much easier to add those features for the company that's providing it here if you have an app for it. Why it doesn't have an app, I don't know, but it doesn't. They didn't give you an app with this one. It doesn't have app connection capability. Maybe a future one that I might see in the future will have that, but this one specifically does not offer that. Next is the price. The price seems to be pretty all over the place. I've seen it and I've been like, whoa, that is way expensive. You can get much more capable and much better vacuums for way better price than that. And then like right now, while I'm looking, there's a $100 off coupon on Amazon. They got wicked sales going on all the time, so the price is always fluctuating. Just maybe keep an eye on it, or use one of those websites that like look at the price history of a product, and then you can use that to kind of gauge, hey, am I getting it a good deal, or maybe I should wait till next week when it goes on sale again. Next is actually a really big pro. This beats out every other robot vacuum I have, but the battery life on this is 100 minutes. That means if you have a larger space for it to clean, it can do it all in one pass. Whereas my Tycom downstairs, I think it lasts an hour at the most. And then my SwitchBot, it'll last an hour if you keep it at like the lowest suction level, which is not as productive. I've noticed like it picks up the big stuff, but it doesn't get all the dust and dander as well. So this one lasting 100 minutes, that's pretty awesome. And along those lines, it kind of coincides with it is that my Tycom robot vacuum, it does straight lines, back and forth, always does a straight line every time. And then my SwitchBot, it can do a switch line and then a straight line this way, but it doesn't do random pattern. This one only does a random pattern. So I don't actually have a way to know, like, has it gotten every corner and surface of the area? I don't know. It just goes until the battery's dead, and then it's like, all right, I'll go back to charge. Hopefully it got everything. And while if it's on like a regular day-to-day maintenance plan, that probably won't be an issue. But if you have like a bigger home where like in 100 minutes it can't reach everything, that might start to show up as like, hey, this is an issue. It's not getting this whole room, or it's not getting enough surface area each day for it to feel like, hey, it's keeping the space generally clean. This does not substitute like a proper vacuum and a mop. This just will dust things up, keep things fresh, just to make things look a little bit better, a little bit longer. And then when you do go to do the major deep cleaning, it's actually a lot easier. Next really big pro is it is super thin. This guy is 2.85 inches tall. For reference, my SwitchBot, it does have LiDAR on the top, so it makes it a little bit taller, but it is shorter than most other robots, and they are very proud of this. It's still at 3.6 inches tall, so 2.8 is pretty good. It means it can get under a whole lot of things without getting caught. Speaking of getting caught on things, it says it in the manual, if anything is less than a half an inch tall, you need to block it off or something like that so that it doesn't try to drive up on it, because at half an inch tall, it will drive up on top of everything without a care, or like it just, oh, drives me a little batty. So I have a couple of chairs in my kitchen that the base is a flared base, so it's almost nothing tall at the bottom, and it keeps on trying to like drive up it, and then when it does, it just sits there and like bumps and bumps and bumps and bumps and bumps. It doesn't like try and move or change angles. It just drives up and up and up, and it's really weird. And it does the same thing to a tower fan we have. It's got a small ledge on it, and sometimes it catches that ledge, but most of the time it just drives right up on top of that thing and bumps and bumps and bumps and bumps. So it gets a little annoying, and sometimes it gets stuck up on top of those, or it thinks it's stuck, and then honestly, I'll just grab the remote and tell it to reverse off, and it'll be fine, and it can continue cleaning. Another pro is the cleaning tool. While all of the robot vacuums I've reviewed have a cleaning tool that come with them, this is by far the best one, because it has that comb attachment, not just a brush and a little hook with a razor on it. It has a comb attachment that you can use on your main brush to get any dander, small fine hairs, things like that. It's not something that's necessarily tangled, but it can get like chunks of lint and things that have built up. That is fantastic. By far the best tool I've worked with so far. Last but not least, I mentioned this at the beginning, but if you're running into issues where you're like, I can't turn it on, make sure you flip it over and flip that main power switch, the little red button under the plastic cover. That is your main power on and off, and then you can hit your power button on the top to get it going from there. But that is it, honestly. I don't hate it. I wouldn't say it's my favorite. I wish that after having one with LiDAR and like the room, like it can see where things are so it isn't constantly running into things, and being able to create like no-go zones on the app and all these features that you can get. Coming to one like this, it's very baseline. It's a little bit harder for me. However, I've had a ton of people in comments on my other videos, especially the Tycom G8000, asking, hey, can I use this with just the remote? This one, you only use it with just a remote. So I would say definitely worth looking at for all of those folks that are interested in one that is running with just a remote. So the value is there, and I would say for the right customer, this is the right product. The question is whether it's the right product for you. If it is, I do have Amazon affiliate links down in the description below. Using those links do help to support this channel with no additional cost to you. So go ahead and click those links, do your Amazon shopping from there, and thank you so much for helping to support this channel. If you'd like to continue supporting, you can just subscribe. Honestly, it costs you nothing, but just lets me know that you guys like these videos. If you have questions, suggestions, or want anything else to be known, or would like to learn anything else about this device or anything else you've seen today, leave those questions in the comments below. I try to reply to every single comment on my channel, so leave those questions and any other comments you have in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.